Hey there everyone, I'm back with another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the ownership of a 2006 all the way to 2010 BMW 335i, the N54 engine. This is a convertible model which I've owned over 3 years, and the manual version. Pretty rare combo and rare color. And I'm going to be talking about all the issues and pros and cons of owning this car, similar to all my other videos. I'm going to start with the pros. This car is beautiful. If you look at the lines, it's stunning. It doesn't age. Although this car is 18 years old almost, it looks much newer. People who do not know about cars don't know how this car is. They think it's 2016, 2017, 2020, some people. And it does get a lot of attention. I own a lot of expensive cars in my life, and this is not expensive, and when I drive it with the roof off downtown, I get a lot of attention and looks. You can see people looking at it. Starting with the power, you get 300 horsepower from factory, which is amazing. And if you don't tune these cars, they're actually decently reliable. Yes, a lot of people don't believe that, but I'm gonna review that. I have not tuned this and kept the stock, and it's been amazing to me. Decently amazing. It is very fun to drive this in the summer with the roof off, especially on the sunset, driving manual, banging gears. And the interior, if you're getting one, try to get one with the, they call it two humps, the two monitor. This is the single monitor. I wanted a manual car, so it was much harder to find the double hump. The facelift that comes in 2011 has more common of double hump with where you can install Android Auto and manual, but for the pre-facelift it's a little harder to do that. This is a twin turbo engine, as you know, and it's been known for having many issues. This is the interior. As you can see, it's decently modern, but without the monitor it looks a little bit outdated. And I know the leather is ripped. Mine's not ripped. I just have this cover so it prevents it from ripping. Let's look at the engine bay. This is a straight 6 3-liter twin turbo, and the sound of the turbo when you rip this car is amazing. As of gas mileage, one thing you need to know about this car, there's no way around putting non-premium gas in it. You have to put premium gas 100% of the time. And as of gas mileage, realistically, I get 11 liters every 100 kilometers, average city and highway. Other than all these pros that I told you, and again, I cannot elaborate on how much fun this is. When I was buying this car, I knew I'm buying one of the most unreliable BMWs, as what everyone said. But I've owned it for 3 years and I'm about to sell it, and I'm very sad I'm letting this go. But it was the most amazing car I've ever owned. Even probably better than an M5 I used to have and an M3 I used to have. I know it's contrary, but it's just so fun because of the convertible feature. I ended up buying this after I drove in the back seat of one of my friends, and I was like, I want one right away. So if you don't want to make the mistake, or the best mistake of your life, don't drive one or get into one of these convertible, because you will want one. Another pro is the brakes are amazing on this car. They're gigantic compared to this vehicle. The braking system is amazing, and I've never had problems either on warm days or on track. And we're going to get into the maintenance now and what are the things I fixed. Starting, one of the notorious problems with this engine is that the gaskets leak. Valve cover gasket, oil pan gasket, oil filter housing gasket, oil cooler line gasket right here, and oil cooler has two O-rings, which these are known for leaking, and the leaks go right there, which eventually drips into the belt under there, and if you don't address it, the belt can slip and suck into your pulley and blow up your engine. I've addressed these myself. It took me a couple hours to do it. You have to take everything apart. It's not too hard with the right tools. But keep in mind, this gasket right here, which is the oil cooler filter housing, I've changed it 3 times. I don't know why it keeps leaking. No, it's not warped. I've checked it. It's not warped. It just keeps leaking after winter. It dries up. I've used good gasket. Another problem it has, these cars do burn oil. The sensor says it's full, but it's not. So I always do my oil change every 5,000 kilometers with the best oil. Although BMW manual says 15,000. If you do that, you'll blow your engine. 5,000 to 6,000 maximum, full synthetic, 5LV40, not 5LV30. good filter, don't cheap out. Another known problem with these cars is the injectors. They leak, and they're like $1,000 each, and you have 6 of them. I haven't had the problem, knock on wood. But again, I use premium fuel and I drive on the highway a lot. And since this is a direct injection engine, you have carbon buildup in the piston, on your valves, because there's no fuel cleaning your valves. I've done the valve cleaning when I took out the intake manifold to change the oil filter housing gasket. It wasn't too hard, and you could do it yourself when you're doing the gaskets. The most expensive gasket to change is probably your oil pan gasket, which you gotta raise the engine and drop the subframe. A lot of people don't change it because who cares? All BMWs leak. It's a BMW lifestyle, and it's not gonna affect anything. Just top up your filter. Another con I didn't like is when you have any fumes or leaks in this car, which is very common. Since your air filter is right there, it sucks it right into the cabin, and you can burn your eyes to one point. Another problem with these cars is right here. Your ABS module might go, and you have to replace that. That's a decently common problem with this age, so be aware of the ABS module. A lot of these cars, people say they have turbo wastegate problems. I agree, but I've seen a lot of them with like high mileage, 250,000 kilometers, 300,000 kilometers on original turbos. Yes, there are a lot of highway driving, but why? What you need to do, which a lot of BMW owners don't do other than regular oil changes, is when you start it, you have to let it warm up. You have to let the oil flow in. You have to and then before you rip it, you have to let your oil temperature to reach a warm, reasonable operating temperature, and then you can rip it. And when you're parking the car, you have to let it cool down. So I always let this car cool down a minute at minimum before I turn it off. Some basic stuff that people don't do. Another thing about the hardtop, a lot of people have leakage problems here. I never did, but I've seen my friends who go through car washes and get wet. Mine never had a problem, but it's not too hard to fix. I'm gonna come to the back. I'm gonna show you the space. So this car is very small. This is the trunk. Yes, you can lift this up, but when the roof's up, you cannot lift that up. And it is a pretty small trunk, but again, you're driving a convertible, you're not looking for space if you're driving this car. And problems will be, this is a soft close trunk. They tend to fail, and because there are wires back here that move when the latches on the side close, I have a video about that. Those tend to fail and the trunk stops closing and your roof doesn't work. That's a common problem. Another common problem, which is not a big deal, is the automatic valve for the shut off on the exhaust goes bad and it starts rattling, which you have to change the muffler for or just weld it in a spot. Not a big deal, but that's a common problem. And another problem is eventually the shocks on the convertible, the observers go out because it's such a heavy car. This is 500 pounds heavier than the coupe. So you do see a power difference when you drive a 335 coupe and a 335 convertible. This is much slower. Not much, but it is slower. And this has the M suspension, so it's lower than the regular 335, but the shocks have a tendency of going out. I replaced them with aftermarkets. I had them for 3 years, Chinese aftermarket ones. Cost me $300 for parts, $300 labor. It's been good to me, no problems, but it's not the same performance if I go on the track. And another thing you have to keep in mind, you can see that the rear on these cars camber over time, although the rear shocks are new. And when you go do alignment, it's very hard to do alignment because the nuts and the bushings rust out, and you probably have to get a new control arm if you want to get a perfect alignment, but most people don't do it. Regarding wear and tear, if you're getting an interior, try not to get this color is very hard to maintain. You can see it easily fades. I like the peanut butter. My M3 had a peanut butter interior that was amazing. The steering wheel fades easily, so try to get a cover to protect it. And there's not much about the interior besides the ski package where you can put your skis. But try to get the monitor. I highly recommend that. Makes your car look much more modern. Again, I didn't have the injector problems, as I said, but under the hood, other than regular maintenance, I had to do the gaskets. I had to do spark plugs because it started having misfires, and I did the spark plugs. Misfires went away for a bit. but they came back. Then I had to do the coils. I did a couple of the coils. Again, I bought Amazon coils. I had them on for 3 years almost. They've been perfect. No misfires, no codes. A lot of people might hate on how I've maintained this car, but it's been working perfectly, and there's no reason to just throw out money if things went right. Valve cover, my valve cover never cracked. It's OEM. People's crack all the time. That's another common problem. I've just changed the gasket. PCV valve is built into the valve cover in these cars. Leak. Mine doesn't have a leak, thankfully. But if you're now, you can buy a valve cover for super cheap on eBay, and it's easy to change it. You can do it yourself, and the labor is not much if you want to pay someone to do it. A common problem people complain, which I never had, is these headlights, automatic headlights, fail. They stop moving. One thing I want to tell people is they think it's the headlights, but there's a common problem with this car that not many people know. It's your steering wheel angle sensor. So your car eventually either falls out of alignment, the wheels, or you get an alignment, or you hit a pothole, or whatever, your tires are not balanced. There's a sensor in the steering wheel which knows the location of your steering wheel, which coordinates with your ABS system, your traction control, and your headlights. And when that goes, or either broken or is not calibrated, you get all those lights, including the headlight light. I had that problem with mine, and I did a lot of research. There's not many videos on YouTube about it, and I found out that all you had to do was put on alignment hoist, get an alignment, and when you're done alignment, reset the steering wheel angle sensor before you take it off the hoist, and that will clear a lot of the codes. Other than that, I love this car. Again, I cannot describe how much fun I had with it. I'm very sad about it. And one thing is, if you live in the cold climate, these windows freeze in the winter all the time. You can see these are frameless windows all the time. Every morning I have to use a hairdryer to get into the car. So I stopped. I had to, I don't drive this much, but I had to, in the winter, I had to totally stop because of that. It was annoying. Regarding parts, this car's reached the age that the parts are everywhere. I owned one of these back in like 2014. It was very expensive to own them. Not many people knew how to work on it. Now there's so many YouTube videos. Parts are readily available, and they're super cheap aftermarket, and you could easily do the work as much as possible yourself, except the turbos, of course, the heavy stuff. But know what you're getting yourself into. If you're going to get one, make sure you let it run. Make sure you check the coolant. Make sure there's no oil mixed into the coolant or the engine, and rev it. And if you see on the drop of the rev, you see a rattle, that's probably your race kit. Just run away from that. If you have a race kit problem, you're definitely going to have a lot more problems because it has not been taken care of. And regarding brakes, I just wanted to say the rear brake sees when you're taking it off, because the e-brake is inside the drum, and you probably have to rip that off and replace it, which I have a video on that as well. That wasn't too big of a problem. I did it myself, but again, that's what happens when you live in a climate where there's salt on the ground and snow. So people who are on the south don't have a lot of the problems we do. And again, don't listen to whatever people say. If you buy a right one, if you buy a goodly maintained one, and you maintain it right, and you do what you're supposed to do with any turbo car, I don't think you'll have many problems. I've seen these with high mileages and original engines and transmission. I just believe people who own this put the minimum maintenance and expect the most, and they're surprised when it blows up. I hope this video helps you. If you like my content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer it. Take care.